will mark 75 years since legendary musician Louis Armstrong reigned as king.
Yeah, Rob Krieger joins Arthur Hardy as they take a look at some memorabilia from that historic ride and share how he will be honored this Mardi Gras.
Hey everybody, we are in the Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club along with Arthur Hardy here. We are talking about Zulu, New Orleans' favorite son, Louis Armstrong, who reigned as king in Zulu in 1949, 75 years ago.
75 years ago.
I mean, that's it's an incredible amount of time since that's happened. But Darren, here with Zulu, telling us a little bit about the history of the parade and why Louis Armstrong reigning as king was such a meaningful event for the club.
Well, he was the first, I mean, he was an entertainer. He was worldwide. He was bigger than New Orleans at that time. So to have the king of Zulu being someone that was famous is obviously for a club like ourselves, it was a big deal. He was the first celebrity monarch, as they say.
He was, and I'm so glad that Zulu's doing something to honor him this year. I understand there's going to be a special float down.
Yes, we're going to have a special float in the parade for the King's Float to honor his 75th year as serving as King of Zulu.
I mean, you say that he was this big, I mean, obviously he's a huge deal in the country, right? An even bigger deal here in New Orleans, but he himself said that it was his dream to be the King of Zulu. So I mean, that's pretty special.
And that's what's special about it. We're every man's club, and for a guy that, you know, who wants to be a part and so prominent, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing for the city. It's a wonderful thing for Zulu.
Arthur, you've got some just absolutely incredible artifacts. You check these out, Darren.
Yeah.
The original Time magazine,
Yep.
when he was
I mean,
featured.
to land on the cover, and of course that happened because of his participation in the parade. You see the crown on his head and all. I mean, this is big. He was more than nationally known. He was internationally known. But still one of the hometown guys, and wouldn't you love to have been there, you know, just to see that. Another thing I have, and this is one of my best items in my collection, this is an autograph program from the Zulu Ball at the Booker T. Washington Auditorium, which was the Sunday night before the parade. And this is precious and priceless. I won't tell you what I had to pay for this. But yeah, he was big time and brought a lot of honor to the city, and unfortunately, at the end of the parade, his float broke down.
That's what I hear, yeah.
Yeah, and souvenir hunters just took pieces of it and all. And if anybody has one, I'm buying.
he will. Darren, you know, having someone like Louis leading Zulu through the city on what I understand was a kind of a path that might have been meandering, maybe a little bit off the route at the time, but during a time when Mardi Gras and the crews were segregated, you had people from all walks of life coming out to see him. I mean, that's such a unifying event for Carnival.
Of course. I mean, we had blacks and whites out to see him. And, you know, Zulu at that point in time was mostly in black neighborhoods. They would pay homage to various bars and restaurants and so forth that supported them throughout the year, and businesses. But, you know, you have Louis Satchel Armstrong as your king. It's a different story. People are going to take that chance and go in these neighborhoods and check him out.
And it happened without incident. People were together all honoring the same thing, a fabulous musician. Speaking about fabulous things, tell me about the 24 parade. It's not just going to be a tribute to Pops, right?
No, well, of course, you know, we're honored by this, but
Yeah.
you know, one thing in Zulu, all our kings are important. That year, we have Melvin Labat is going to serve as our king, and he's gearing up and ready to greet the crowds of New Orleans on that day. And our ball will be on February 9th. So we have a lot of events leading up to that.
And only about 2 people come to the ball, right? Tell me what you
We're thinking about 18,000 will be there this year for our Zulu ball February 9th. But
Man.
you know, Melvin Labat is a great guy. He's served as our Toys for Tots committee for years. That's one of our big community service functions. So the reality is he's getting his chance to shine, and it happens to be at the same time with Satchmo, which is wonderful.
And a big part of what Zulu is all about is giving back to the community. A reason, I'm sure, why Melvin was elected to be king, because of that philanthropy that goes across New Orleans, right?
Correct. I mean, we're a club throughout the year. We are the crew of Zulu during Mardi Gras, but we're the Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club Incorporated. And the reality is we do holiday gift baskets. We have junior Zulus. We have Zulu maids, we give scholarships, we have Toys for Tots. We gave over 7,000 bicycles to the needy kids of New Orleans this year. So we do it, and all our characters participate. So every party that they give during Christmas, people have to bring a bike to get in. So that's one of the wonderful things that we do to make sure everybody is taken care of on that day.
And is it true you're still going to throw coconuts?
We're going to hand coconuts.
That's right.
We're going to
right.
hand coconuts.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
at that time, we did throw coconuts. In fact, there was a story about Satchmo throwing a coconut to someone.
To his grandmother.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to hand them.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe if you're out there on the route on Mardi Gras Day, you'll see Zulu and get a chance to get one of those coconuts, just like Louis Armstrong was throwing out 75 years ago. Arthur, what an incredible piece of history here that we get to remember, and just an amazing parade that we know will stand the test of time much longer than 75 years from now, right?
For sure.
Long live Zulu.
Long live Zulu.
All right.
Hail Zulu.
Hail Zulu for Arthur. I'm Rob Krieger, Fox 8, Local First.
Right.